They're frozen. Hey, we're live. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Positive Tuesday today, October 3rd, 2023. For Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald, I'm Ben Dryden, and you're watching Positive Tuesday with Ben and Fitzy, presented by Professional Exteriors and Interiors. With 20 years of experience, this locally owned and operated business provides quality work both on the inside and on the outside of your home or business. Like Fitzy and I, they believe that it's the little things that make a big difference. Give them a call today. You can call Brian. The phone number is right there on the screen, 715-520-2271. Fitzy, good morning.
Morning, how are you?
Fantastic. I don't have a scale today. I forgot all about it till just now. I usually like to have a scale.
Oh, yeah.
Zero,
it's so nice outside. You can't beat it, right?
Yeah, I know. It's gorgeous.
Well, there's Dirk right away with the...
Awesome. Good morning, Dirk.
I know. It's going to get cold this weekend, Dirk. I know. It's the last warm day. Yeah.
Good. I love cold weather. Yes, how's your weekend? Hockey, I'm guessing.
Good. Hockey, yep. Beat the number one team that won it all last year twice. So
what?
Went into a shootout on the first game and won 2-1 on the second game. Won them both. Beat the champs that were the champs last year. They won the Fraser Cup or whatever it's called. I think it's called the Fraser Cup. So West Bend Power are 5-0.
Was that kind of expected, or was it, holy cow, I can't believe we beat them?
No, I think, obviously in these junior teams, what happens is you lose, there's 21, 22, 3 players on a team. You lose about 14 into college or into the next level of hockey every year. So your team starts young. They had returned, each team returns between 10 and 14 players. So, I mean, when you win it all and you return 10 players or 14 players, that's a pretty good core back.
It is.
But we've been trucking right along and we beat them both. So I think it was very good hockey. It was really good hockey. I mean, it went into overtime. Overtime in junior hockey is 3-on-3 for 8 minutes or 5 minutes, and then it's a shootout. Went to the 6th shootout, and then we finally scored, and then we won 2-1 the next night. So to beat the defending champs twice is pretty good.
That's legit.
It's legit. It's and they're not in our division, but it's still 2 big wins, and it gave us really pushed us hard to, hockey. Coaches got the team tuned up, and
so is that a big deal or
that's a big deal?
That's a big deal.
Yeah, I'd say that's a big deal.
That is. Yeah, we should include that into our 4 big deal questions.
Right.
I want to quick say thank you to Sacred Falls Mayor Kirk Anderson for coming on the show yesterday. We had some technical issues. Those were on my end. We got them fixed after a while, but it was kind of a dumpster fire those first 20 minutes. Right. But thank you, Kirk, for coming on the show. I want to ask you something. I do have a question, but I'll wait till later on because I have we don't have a show tomorrow. I have a dentist appointment, so we can't do it. But Thursday morning is mental health professional Darren Cox, and then Friday is Officer Andy Stacia Cross, and I think the new school liaison officer. Okay. But I got a call yesterday afternoon from someone who said, hey, I can have this guest on for you on Thursday morning if you would like. And I said, okay. And they told me it was, and I'll tell you later who it is. But I didn't know who it was. And I said, well, I have a guest on Thursday morning already. He said, well, why don't you do it at 9:30? So back-to-back shows. But I have a question for you about this. We'll get to that later. As always, we want to start right away with our, good night. Deal or a big deal, big deal or a big deal, big deal or a big deal. Is it a big deal or a
big deal?
I have a question.
Yeah.
We're not on Facebook. We're not live on Facebook.
What's that now?
We're not live on Facebook.
I don't know. We should be.
That's right. No, I don't. I can't get it up. Just so you know. I'm just trying to.
No, I see it. Just there's a little delay there, but no, it's on DrydenWire, and I think we're even on YouTube right now too. Mike's watching it on.
Oh, well, I'm watching. Well, that's weird. I can't get it up. Super weird.
See all these people, Faye and Tracy, and good morning, by the way, and
there you go.
Yeah,
I just can't see some of the questions unless I go to the Facebook, and for some reason it's not.
I'll let you know if there's anything important. I'll decide.
Well, Mike Schaefer talks, so it's got to be important.
All right, good. We hit our quota. We've talked about them now. Now we can move on. All right, so big deal or big deal. So Colorado. So we'll start with college football. We've talked about this every week. For the first 3 weeks, it was the biggest storyline in college football. Deion Sanders coached team. Then they got blown up by Oregon, and it was that all of a sudden now I was like, okay. Yeah, does anybody really care anymore? Well, they played USC, another top 10 team, and they did lose, but 48-41 against a top 10 team. Is that a big deal or a big deal?
I watched the last 2 quarters because they were down 21 points.
I watched the first 2 quarters, and I turned it off because I'm like, wow, this game's over.
Right. And then I watched the second 2, and they came back. So I think it's good for Colorado to bring some of that jazz back to college football. So, and they had a chance to win it and just got too deep in the hole, and and no leads big enough, right? The Chicago Bears. Oh,
that's on my list to talk about as well. Okay, number 2. Okay. By the way, I also think it's a big deal because that's a top 10 team. I mean, granted, their defense isn't very good, but just saying.
Any unranked team beating a ranked team is a big deal.
Yeah, and they didn't beat them, but obviously in college football it's different. It's not necessarily even about wins and losses. Now that's a huge component, but boy, you go up against a top 10 team, and you only lose by 7 in a shootout. Yeah, that's a big deal. Okay, NBA, that's starting in like 3 weeks. This is obviously relating to Wisconsin. Damian Lillard, that dude's all-star point guard from Portland, got traded to the Bucks. Is that a big deal or a big deal?
It's a big deal if you want to keep Giannis, so it's a big deal.
That's a perfect answer.
Yep.
I love it. You made him happy because he said, I got to see you guys doing something. Now they had to get rid of Drew Holiday, so that's going to be interesting. That dude was an incredible defensive player. Damian isn't. He's a scorer. But yeah, I think you're right. I think it is a big deal.
Yeah, I think
for the reason you said.
Yeah, you keep me honest, you have a chance. I mean, they're an NBA contender. I'm kind of wondering if there's some tampering. The Miami Heat came out and said the Bucks tampered. I'm like, I don't know how you tamper. They offered stuff, and and so they're sad they didn't get in.
All right, so as always, we start with just a few sports questions before we get into stuff. We have Sam Lawton just announced this morning that he was announced his campaign for Barron County Judge. We have another story. Barron County DA provides update on fatal traffic crash investigation. We had an insider story that I wanted to talk about, and as well, you had a press release announcing or welcoming the new canine, Cairo, as the news deputy. We'll get to that in just a second here, but third of our 4 questions. Lions beat the Packers 34-20. If you're a Packers fan, you lost. Big deal or big deal?
I don't know. Yeah, and the Lions are good. It's not a big deal. I mean, for either team. So.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think the Packers are going anywhere. I mean, they've beaten on some pretty easy teams so far. And now they had a pretty good team, and it's kind of a big deal just because you weren't really that competitive throughout that whole game. So it could be. But you and I have said on this show up until now, it's like you start beating some really good teams. Now it's something, but yeah. All right, last one. Speaking of the Bears, Justin Fields had was very impressive in their loss against Denver. He went 28 for 35, 335 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 interception. I believe he went 16. He threw 16 straight completed passes, which is a record for the Bears, which isn't saying much. We've never had a good quarterback. But for the first time, he actually looked good. Is that a big deal?
Well, I think it's a big deal. I mean, you obviously know where the problem is then when you're up 21-3 and you lose 28-21 or whatever they lost by. I don't remember what they lost by, but 24-21. So, yeah. And so I think it's a big deal for the Bears that Justin Fields can play well. Now they just got to fix the other half of the ball. It's no different than the Vikings and the Packers. I mean, that's why sports is so fun.
Yeah, it is. I say it's a big deal. Where's my dad's thing?
Oh, big deal. Who cares?
Yeah, so I agree with Dad on that one. Simply because it was Denver Broncos. The week before, they gave up 70 points to the Miami Dolphins. So, I mean, anybody can look good when you're playing against Denver. And for the most part, the Bears. I'm very happy that they lost because, again, I think they're going to win only one game this year, and it's going to be a fluke game. So that'll be good for our draft picks next year. Okay, well, we have quite a few things we want to get to, some more serious topics, of course. We'll do that after 15 seconds Here's a word from Mike Schaefer in Spooner Health.
In our patient satisfaction surveys and in conversations with patients, they appreciate the fact that staff got to know them. Staff really took their preferences into account, and they just feel grateful that they are being cared for as a person.
To learn more about our services, visit SpoonerHealth.com.
All right, so at the very beginning, I said I wanted to talk to you about something, and we'll do that at the end of the show.
Okay.
But here's a tease. So I didn't know who this person was, and I still kind of don't. But this is the person that will be on Thursday morning after Darren Cox's show. So it'll be at 9:30 on Thursday.
All right, I still don't know who it is.
Yeah, right. So we'll get to that in a little bit. All right, so we just put it up this morning. There was an announcement. The headline is Attorney Samuel L. Lawton announces campaign for Barron County Judge. We've talked about the vacancy, Barron County Judge, with Mike Bitney retiring on September 15th. Now that he has announced, I don't know, what are your thoughts when you saw that? Is this something that you've, granted, it was just like an hour and a half ago we put this up, so it's very new. Are you familiar with him? Do you like seeing this that early? What are we in, October? The election's in April. Good timing? What are your thoughts after you read it?
Well, I'm glad he's running. First of all, I think that's great that someone wants the job. I think he's got an impressive website. I just looked at it, glanced at it before. I know Sam. I know his family. He's a great family guy. He's just what Barron County needs. I don't know a lot about him in the courtroom. I read about him. Like I said, I think his website, Sam Lawton for Judge, is top notch. He did a really good job. Mm-hmm. It's October, but he's got to take out papers December 1st. So you might as well hit it hard and go do it. So I think he is. I'm impressed. It's an impressive site. Looks like he's got an impressive team behind him, and and his wife makes good popcorn. So
that's right. So, yeah, what is that called?
Poppy popcorn on Main Street in Red Lake.
That's right.
We'll buy popcorn from all of these Main Street businesses. And speaking of that, the Rice Lake Chamber is putting on an event with Jacobson Hardware, Dairy State Bank, and many others on Friday night. Come down to Rice Lake Friday night and let's support these businesses that have struggled through the Main Street rebuild, just like Spooner did last year. So come down they got live music and sales and deals, and Friday night's going to be really fun in the city of Rice Lake.
So just anywhere. It's not like in one location. It's
down Main Street. Starts at Jacobson Hardware, which is right next to Dairy State
Now I
Bank.
get it.
Basically, stoplight to stoplight. Only there's no stoplights there because they're building it. So, but it'll be fun. And if you can't get in the front door, the back doors of these businesses are open, and support these downtown businesses. But back to Sam.
Well, hold on a second. When does this start? You may have said it.
Friday night. It's just a Friday night event. I mean, obviously these businesses are open all the time. I think so. 5. Sure. We'll say 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock. There you go, folks. As soon as you're finished with work, if you live down there,
they got live music and they got sales and deals and they got giveaways, and it's, Jody at the Chamber does a great job, and Jacobson Hardware and all the stores on Main Street have got together. So, and they're doing that. But back to Sam, and his wife owns Poppy Popcorn, which is a great business. But Sam is a family man, an attorney, a diverse attorney, which I do like, and he wants to be fair and transparent. And obviously, those are 2 words that we live by here on this show. Is we say how it is, and transparency is key. And so. And I see he even attached DrydenWire from 2018. I think he did 21 things
on his website. I noticed that too. I'm like, I forgot we did that. So I actually read through it. I'm like, who's Sam again? No, I've known him. I don't know him that well. I've talked to him a few times. My understanding he's a great attorney. Mm-hmm. Does this play into, you think, anything having to do with the governor not appointing a judge? Or I should say, is this going to move the needle, you think, from a political standpoint or from a decision standpoint? Maybe not political, but do you think, does this make him want to move up the timetable if he is going to select someone to get that done now, which I kind of feel like he would have done that already, but we don't know. We're not, flying the wall down there. Is this going to make any difference to that panel and the selection committee if somebody is now announced?
It's got to put some pressure on him.
I would think so.
Hey, you would think so.
Let's appoint this guy. Done. He's already running.
The guy wants it. The guy's running it. It's not like he just came out and said, I want to be the judge. I mean, he launched a website. He did a press release. He did, and I'm sure, and so there's a lot of thought and time and effort put into these things. I mean, I think people understand politics, but it's stressful on families. It's stressful on finances. It's stressful on your time and effort away from your family to run for a political office of any sort. And, so Sam lives in Rice Lake. I think he's originally from Spooner, but he lives in Rice Lake. He has for years. So it's not like he's like, oh, I think I'll move to Rice Lake to be a judge. No, he's lived here. They have a home here. They're committed to Barron County and to Rice Lake and to that. So this isn't I think I want to be the judge, so I think I'll apply.
Why not? I got nothing else to do. And isn't his somebody in his family is also, wait, they have that Lawton and Lawton. Who's the other Lawton? Isn't that his dad?
That's his dad.
Yeah, there you go. So, I mean, this is kind of a part of.
Yeah. And like I said, anybody that's done, because judges just don't hear criminal cases. I mean, that's
right.
That's probably
that's what we talk about.
Right. That's what we talk about. But they do divorces and civil things and people that die and they fight over stuff and divorces and all kinds of civil and other things so that they do. And I don't know everything a judge does, but again, the website Sam Lawton for Judge is very good, very well built, and a lot of information about him. So, he's like, make your own decision, and I want to be your judge. And right now he's the only guy that I know that wants to do it.
Well, and that's important. You first got to want it. And by the way, Dawn, thank you so much. She gave us the update, 4-7, Rice Lake Friday night.
Dawn.
Yeah, no kidding. Thank you, Dawn. And by the way, good morning, Mindy and Heather, Renee, John, Tracy, Tina. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Please, if you have any questions or comments, put them in the comments. I really, really, really want Sam Lawton to win judge under one condition, one caveat. He has an office here in Spooner, and it's right on Main Street. And if he owns it and he gets judge, probably not going to need that building anymore. Yeah. Maybe that's the future home of our new studio.
Oh.
So there you go. I'm just in it for me. I don't care about if he's going to be a good judge or not.
Maybe he just rent out the back half to us or something.
Well, if he'd sell it to us, but maybe he just rents it. I don't know. And I'm kidding. I've heard great things. One of the only downsides, I think, at least for us, that actually, I believe he's the only full-time attorney up here in Washburn. I don't even know if we have any attorneys left that do it full-time in Washburn if he was gone. But no, good luck to Sam. You're right. Just go to, what was the website?
Sam Lawton for Judge, I think is what it is.
I think it's LawtonforJudge.com.
Lawton for Judge. Lawton for Judge.
Well, it's on our website on DrydenWire.com this morning. You can read his press release announcement with links to all of that. Best of luck to him.
LawtonforJudge.com. I like his sign. I like he's got a sign made already. The guy's
he's on it.
This is well put together, and you wouldn't expect anything else from an attorney or someone wanting to be, but he's got ask the candidate. I mean, why should I vote for you? Why do I want to be the judge? What kind of judge do you want to be? I mean, those are all good things. What does a judge even do? And again, I think the diversity that he brings will be is a big hit for him. Having done all of it and not just the criminal side of it. Don't get me wrong. Cops love the criminal side of it. But again, this is for Barron County, not for law enforcement and not for anything else. And he's done it, so he understands it.
He's you've heard of you're a cop's cop or he's a lawyer's lawyer. I mean, he just lives and breathes it. He sent an email asking if, what was the charge, to post an announcement. I'm like, well, anybody who wants to announce, they can do it for free. There's no charge. But I didn't say that in an email. I said, call me. So then he calls me. He's like, so you don't want to put anything in writing, huh? So he thinks like an attorney all the time. I'm like, no, I wasn't that I was, didn't want to put it in writing in an email. Just anyway. All right, let's move on to the next one. This is really more of a question. I forgot to print it out. I don't know if you have the link around, but I know you know what this is about. So our headline was Barron County DA provides update on fatal traffic crash investigation.
Right.
I found just interesting, and I don't have it printed out, and I don't have it in front of me.
I have it in front of me.
So it was just interesting to me of why this was sent out. Now, you're not the district attorney, so it's hard for you to probably answer that. But were you also just looking at this going, so you're saying that no charges are being filed but we still have to wait for, I think it was blood evidence, wasn't it?
Right.
Come back. That could be a while. I don't recall in 8 years of doing this, seeing that before, where here's an update on something that it's over. I mean, technically not, though, because we still have to wait. Why was that put out, you think? Or did you look at this and go, what's going on?
Well, I think it's the first time something like this has been done, and you cover a ton of counties, and you've never seen this before. So that's what piqued your interest. It piqued my interest. I like it in the fact that it stops. Yeah, and I mean, and we talked about it because we were both like,
yeah, I'm not criticizing him. It
no,
just took me back a little bit.
I think it's a new standard that you have to keep up with, though. Once you do this, it's no different than putting press releases out. Now that I've started putting,
it's a precedent.
When you set a precedent now you've got to do this for all of them, which is what people want, because these cases sit out there for 9 and 10, 12 months, and because you're waiting for these blood results to come back, you're like, I'm not charging it unless the blood comes back and they're drunk or high or whatever it is, And so I think this is very good by DA Wright to do, and that comment right there, the justice system needs improvement. And some of this is transparency. Some of it is we can't wait 10 months. It isn't the DA's fault.
And just to be clear, Connie may have put that in regarding when we were talking about I don't know if that's about what you're right. I'm not 100% sure when that popped in.
But we agree. But this is going to put some transparency and say we can't wait 10 months for this lady and this guy to realize, or whatever the case was. And so now they're saying, and if the person who's involved in the crash knows if they were drunk or high or whatever, they know, and they would be like, I'm not drunk or high, but I got to wait for these zeros to come back on this piece of paper.
Very good point.
Or I know my outcome, and now I know they're going to be zeros, and now I know my outcome, so I can, these
move
are
on with
tragedies,
life, and
you got to deal with this, and now you're not dealing with. So I think it's awesome. I love it. I'm kind of surprised by it, but again, I think it's a good move, and now that case can actually be closed. When he comes back and it's zeros, boom, it's done. He doesn't have to worry about it. It's another case closed. It gets that off of his desk as the DA. So I think that's what we have 3 ADAs now. I think that helps. We had 3 judges, or we only have 2 now, but we had 3. So I think that's improving the justice system. And again, I think all these little things add up to improve our system as a whole. So I think it's a great move by DA Wright.
I liked it. And yeah, we did talk, because I remember calling you after I posted and said, "Are you familiar with this?" And I think you were going somewhere or just getting somewhere. So I don't think we talked that much about it. But I kind of just explained what it was that we'd published. And you're like, huh. I'm like, yeah, me too. That's what I thought. I'm like, huh. That's interesting. I have never seen one of these before. Now, obviously, you don't need to do these for every single case. But that's a pretty big story. Obviously, a fatal crash investigation.
Right.
And a lot of times you get those questions. I get those questions. Why aren't you doing an update on this? And where's the update on this? And there isn't an update.
Right.
And a lot of these have to do with waiting for results back from labs that are, as you had mentioned, 9, 10, 11, 12 months before we get any of those back. Not we, but I mean, the judicial system gets any of that stuff back. So the case just goes on and just kind of lays in limbo, and everyone's just sitting around waiting. So I kind of like that.
And that wait is unacceptable for us. We just don't have any say in it. I mean, that's the Attorney General's office, and they've got to do a better job down there. I'm not saying they don't do a good job. They're just stuck with as many people as they can hire and they can find. And so I'm not blaming them either, but it's on that end. It's not on this law enforcement end. It's not on State Patrol for reconstruction. It's not on the district attorney. So it's on the crime lab, who needs to get the backlog taken care of.
Agreed. So I had an insider story. Well, the headline was, "Court accepts change of plea for man charged with fleeing Barron County law enforcement." Here's just kind of a quick recap. The court has accepted a change of plea from Derek
Aune.
Oh, thank you. Aune, because I'm like, Aune, A-U-N-E, Aune, of Amory, Wisconsin, charges that were filed against him in Barron County following a November 2022 incident involving a high-speed pursuit and the use of a drone and a canine that resulted in his arrest. Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald issued a press release. I'll skip, get to the end here. He appeared At a video hearing recently, that was on September 27th, while in custody at the Oshkosh Correctional Facility, entered a plea of guilty to his charge of Class I felony vehicle operator flea/elude officer. Remaining charges dismissed but read in. Judge Boyle ordered him to serve a 3-year sentence on his conviction, 1 year of initial confinement, followed by 2 years of extended supervision. Do you like that result?
I do like that result. That was a bigger case for us. I mean, we had the high-speed chase, then he ran, and we used our drone again. And one of the local newspapers wanted to do a report on all of our technology we have, and
I'd stay away from that if I were you. Like, I don't know if I'd want everybody to know what we have, right?
And I, then if I don't want people to know, I should even put we used the drone. We could just put we captured them. But I do want people to realize.
Yeah, I agree. We have the technology. We're not going to tell you how we use it and all the fancy stuff that goes with it.
Right.
Yeah, people should know, but not everything.
Right. And I want people to know that we're using their tax money wisely. I mean, we just don't buy stuff and put it on the shelf hoping to never use it. Something we do. I mean, our armored vehicle, I have it. I hope we never have to use it. I hope it never gets shot at. But we have it just in case we need it. But I want to know when we use our drone and then we use some of our technology to catch bad guys. And this is one tool that we're using that's the bad guys can't get away from. They can see it, they can hear it, but they can't get away from them. And we use that. And we found this guy hiding. And actually, that was the one guy. It was really cold that night. And if we wouldn't have found him, he might have froze because
that's
he was hiding
right.
from us.
I remember we talked about that.
Yeah. And so we were worried about him because he actually had some mild hypothermia and he was only out there, an hour. And if he had to walk somewhere or stayed hidden, he might not be alive. And so, no, but happy with the outcome. Happy he went to prison. I think anybody that runs from the police should go to prison. I think we have to do that in today's world, especially that long a chase, seriousness of it, things like that.
Yeah. So, I think 1 year, I wouldn't say it's too light, but it's, right. I agree with you. Yeah. Prison should be. How long? I'll leave that up to the judges and the DAs and the state defense people. Fine. But I am happy to see some prison. Mm-hmm. I agree. Hey, speaking of canine, because canine was used in that last one as well, you put out just a short announcement, but it was yesterday. Our headline was Barron County Sheriff's Office welcomes canine Cairo as newest deputy. I should have had a picture. I didn't even think about it.
Yep, but it's on our Facebook page. Yeah. Mike Carroll came back. He was a former canine handler. He went into the investigations for a while, but really missed the canine and doing with the canine. So both our dogs were set to retire. So we ended up with getting Jasper last year with Ryan Hallbeck, and now Mike Carroll's got Cairo. So we have Jasper and Cairo, and the dogs are both working, both great dogs, both young dogs, and so they last 5 to 8 years. And then we rotate them out. But canine handler is a very important role in our department. Rice Lake's got a great dog. Turtle Lake's got a dog, a drug dog. So the questions come out: are they marijuana certified? No, they're not marijuana certified now.
What is that? I believe that makes sense. I believe, but
right, because it's harder to untrain a dog than train the dog if it does get legalized. Although I disagree, it's not going to get legalized for a while.
Oh, because that was my next question. Why would it matter?
Because it's, but so they don't certify them right now. But we're after the meth. I mean, that's what we're after.
Yeah.
Again, the Rice Lake dog's been very aggressive. Ryan's dog has, and I think Cairo will be a great drug dog. We're very excited to get him operating, and he wants to go find drugs. So, great, beautiful dog, and we're welcoming him to our team.
First day was yesterday, right?
Yep.
Cairo, who picks the names? Is this like storms that come through? They just start with the alphabet, like Hurricane Amanda and whatever. Like, how do you pick? Who picks the name?
The handler picks the names, and I don't know what's the background behind the name. I didn't ask that. I just
there's a lot of 4-letter. It seems like they're almost always 4 letters.
Oh, that's a good point.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
So, do you know how he came up with Cairo?
No, I do not. Or Jasper, I don't know.
Okay, that was a little longer. Spooner had Blue, and what?
And Rice Lakes is Cash, and Turtle Lakes is. I'm not going to get it off the top of my head.
Probably 4 letters.
Abby's or Gabi's probably watching. He'll tell me in a minute.
Gabi, 4 letters. That's what you should name the next one. Gabi.
Gabi's it's not like a tornado or a hurricane. We just letter the alphabet.
All right,
next
what are
dog
we up to?
handler, you get M. You know? Come up with an M name. So.
All right.
No,
there we go.
Well,
Well, there he is watching.
Max. I knew it was something. I couldn't get it out. I knew Al was watching.
That was only 3 letters. I guess I was wrong.
So that went our theory.
Yeah. Well, great. That's awesome. I'm a little surprised you said 5 to 8 years. The 5-year part. That's a little. For some reason, I just thought longer, but I don't know why I would have thought longer because they, like, how old? Like, at what point can they not really go through the training? They're too old.
It has to do with their hips and their. It depends on how much you use them, and there's different things. Their intestines can get twisted sometimes because of all the jumping and going through windows and the leaping that they do, and that hurts their back legs. And so it depends on the dog, and riding in a squad car all the time. And so, 5 is a low end. I mean, both of our dogs went 7+ years. So I think the other dog before that, Mike's other dog went 8.5 years, I think it was. So, that 7 to 8 is really the point where you start to say, hey, plus it takes 6 months to get a dog through committee.
Yeah, and then they have the end of their career, a quality of life aspect. They're like running backs. You can play from like 20 to 29, and after that, it's like, well, now. Like, get them in their peak. But yeah, at some point, I mean, that's a lot. This isn't just a dog that you're throwing a Frisbee to. That's a lot of training and a lot of demand on those little bones. Al says most dogs are named before the departments get them. Oh. Yeah. So maybe not even. Well, who names those dogs? I don't know why I want to know the answer to this all of a sudden.
I don't know. I've never thought about it, but I know Ryan's picked his names for his dogs, but I don't know if this last dog was named prior to when he got it. We bought ours from the St. Paul Academy. This was Mike Carroll's personal dog. It was bred from another police dog. We went to Ohio and trained this dog to one. The training was shorter. The training was right now, and so we could get that dog into play right now, so we could retire our other dogs. So we went to Ohio and trained this one. It's the same training. It's similar. Mike, being a former handler, didn't have to go as long as Ryan did with the other dogs. So it all worked out for us, and they do it. The commitment of our dog handlers is tremendous. It's one of the only positions I'd never want. They have to do a lot of work to be a dog handler or a canine handler. Yeah,
you said that's the only position you've never had, was doing that. The breeders name them, they said, boy, I got to change that background so I can read that a little bit better. But
the breeders name them as they're starting with the breeder, which is probably
that makes sense because you got to, right. Hey, Renee, hey, in the future, I'm doing a ride with a police officer for a day, and I'm going to wear a vest so I can go out of the car. I didn't even know they still did that anymore. That's awesome.
Well, we do ride-alongs, but we don't put them in vests and we don't let them out of the car. So I don't know where she's put ride-along at, but
this Cronenberg boy, if it's Spooner or something, it's like they really need help. Hey, I saw you commented on when we were on the show. Do you, I don't know, want to be a cop for a day or?
Yeah. We're doing a new thing, a new recruiting tool.
Hey, you take them where you get them, I guess.
I'm looking for a dispatcher or two, so if anybody in Washburn County wants to be a dispatcher.
Right. Washburn is too. I just put that post up yesterday.
I know. I'm looking for one too. In fact, I'm going to need 2. I had a longtime dispatcher just set to retire at the end of the year, so I'm looking for 2 dispatchers. So,
well, don't look at Washburn. You've taken them all, and they're looking for new people.
I don't think I've taken them all quite yet, so maybe we got to get up there and run some things put them on the car windows again, put some applications.
All right.
For that county letting me.
Oh, very nice. The sheriff's office. Now I have more questions about this. Now is it like a municipality, or is this open? Okay, that makes sense. Right, Burnett County. That's interesting. That's going to be awesome. Take pictures. Yeah. I can't wait. That's going to be fun. Yeah. All right. Is there anything else that you wanted to make sure that we talked about that we didn't get a chance to? I do want to go back to the thing I started at the beginning about this guest.
Who this guy is.
Yep. So, again, tomorrow we don't do a show, but Thursday. And we're doing more shows this week just because it was our 8-year anniversary on Sunday.
Well, congratulations, by the way. Thank you for having 8 years. I forgot to mention that in the beginning. I had it written down here, and I forgot all about it.
Oh, I appreciate it. No, yeah.
Why did you start DrydenWire?
Nothing else to do.
They're like, I don't want to leave the house. What can I do when that thing comes? They're like, I know, I'm going to start an internet show.
I want to wake up when I want. I want to work in my sweatpants. Don't want to go outside. So yeah, after I put out my list, the things to check off, it was like, I guess I'll start a media outlet.
I guess I got a computer and I can just buy one of these cool microphones. And I'm set.
So you nailed it. See, anybody can do this. Anyway, so Kirk Anderson was on yesterday. We're doing the show today. Tomorrow we're not doing one, but then on Thursday morning, mental health professional Darren Cox, just an outstanding human being. He's going to be on at 8:30 on Thursday morning, and Friday will be Station Cross, Officer Andy, and the new liaison officer
Daniel.
Is it Daniel? I can't remember his name. The three, so it'll be the four of us on Friday morning. But anyway, so yesterday afternoon around 3 or 4, I get a call from someone that I know that I've gotten to know just in my line of work, and said, hey, I've got a guest that you may be interested in having on. Do you have any openings on Thursday morning? I said, well, actually, I have a guest on Thursday morning, and, we only do one show. He's like, well, what time is that? I'm like, well, it's 8:30 to about 9:15-ish. He's like, what about 9:30? I'm like, and this is one of those, it's not like a favor, it's just, sure, I could do another one. That's no problem. We're doing extra shows this week anyway. I said, who is he? He goes, Alan West. And he said it like I should know. I'm like, oh,
Like
who's Alan West?
Who's Alan West?
Yeah, apparently it's this guy.
Okay, that's great. Who is he?
Yeah. So I'm going to read. So hold on a second. The story is just great. So I said, okay, sure, fine. Hey, could you also send me a bio of him so I, know who I'm talking to? And then we hung up and he was going to send it. And then I texted and said, by the way, what are we talking about? He goes, just do your normal show. Just talk to, first time guest. So you ready for this? This is just part of his bio. And I'll have this up tomorrow for the announcement. He's retired now, but Lieutenant Colonel Alan West is the executive director of the American Constitutional Rights Union and ACRU Action Fund. He is a combat veteran and a former member of the United States Congress. Lieutenant Colonel West is the third of 4 generations of military service in his family. During his 22 career in the U.S. Army, Lieutenant Colonel West served in several combat zones, received many honors, including a Bronze Star, 3 meritorious service medals, 3 Army Commendation Medals, 1 with Valor Device, and a Valorous Unit Award. In 1993, he was named the U.S. Army ROTC Instructor of the Year. In 2010, he was elected to Congress, representing Florida's 22nd District. While there, he sat on the Small Business and Armed Service Committees. He's a former executive director at the National Center for Policy Analysis in Dallas, Texas, the former director of the Booker T. Washington Initiative. I'm not kidding. I'm still going on here. For the Texas Public Policy Foundation. In 2020, Mr. West was elected chairman of the Republican Party of Texas by an overwhelming majority of state delegates. Lieutenant Colonel West is an avid distance runner, master scuba diver, legacy member of Veterans Foreign Affairs, life member of American Legion. I mean, this goes on and on. The Society of 1st Infantry Division, the 4th Infantry Division, the 101st Airborne Division. And he also wrote 3 books. So that's so here's my question. Can I call in sick that day? What am I going to talk to? I don't know. Are you kidding? We had Senator Johnson on and Scott Walker on, and you, of course, and sheriffs and Congress. No problem. But for the first time, I'm like, I don't know if I should do this show. What am I going to talk about? I mean, his resume, he's like the most credentialed person I've ever, just reading this intimidates me. Right. I'm going to be like, yes, sir, and no, sir.
He must have lost because otherwise he'd be the governor of Texas.
No, so he was in Florida's 22nd district.
Yeah, but he ran for the governor of Texas in 2021.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
How bad did he lose?
I don't know. In July 4th, 2021, West announced his run for governor of Texas. So, but he must want to talk about something.
Oh, well, and he's up in Wisconsin for something. So he'll be in southern Wisconsin, and he had 2 hours off that morning. So that's when the person who was, I don't know, scheduling, doing stuff for him, was the one who called me and said, listen, I got 2 hours on Thursday morning. I thought of you if you wanted to have him on. So I'm like, again, sure. And after, he sent me all this stuff, I texted and said, I don't know, man. Maybe we don't do this. I don't know what we're going to talk about. Mm-hmm. And I always call everybody. I mean, do I refer to him when you're retired? How do you refer to someone? Do I refer to him as Lieutenant Colonel West?
Sure. I think
Do I call him Alan? What do I do?
I think I call him Lieutenant Colonel. I think he's earned it.
I think he's earned it too, but I never like to call. I introduced them by your title, but then when we start, I want to have a conversation with the person.
Right.
I don't want to talk to a title, but I feel like that would be wildly disrespectful.
Right.
But I don't mean to be.
He'll be fine.
Well, I know he'll be fine. I say, like, what do I do? I don't know.
I'm just looking at his Facebook here. Yeah, interesting. Hopefully I can catch it.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not nervous. I never get nervous for a show. But wow, that guy, he's a pretty impressive man. Pretty well credentialed.
Cool.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have some technical issues.
I don't think so.
Dang it.
He
All
lives
right.
in Texas, Florida. I don't think he's going to come back. Oh, there you go. Just be yourself, Ben.
Oh, well, that's not going to go well. That has never served me well in my life.
Be the professional, Ben. Don't be yourself.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. All right. Speaking of Dirk, it's about time if you have your weather forecast for us. What do you have coming up this week, Fitzy?
I got meetings. I'm just looking. Got a meeting tomorrow. I'm going to meet the new owners of the radio station tonight.
There's a new. I didn't know that.
Yeah, Tom Kosher sold the radio station, so I'm meeting the new owners, and one of the owners is
Thank you, Dan.
former Governor Tommy Thompson.
What?
And he's going to be there tonight. So I don't know. I don't know what the connection is. Kosher never told me. So Tom
Maybe that's why
Kosher
Alan West is up here. Maybe he's a part of it.
Maybe he's part of it. I don't know. So yeah, I think
You're going to see Governor Tommy Thompson tonight?
I'm going to see former Governor Tommy Thompson tonight.
See if he wants to come on for a show.
There you go. What are you doing Thursday at 10:30?
Oh, well, that would be fun. Just doing a whole bunch of shows.
So that's interesting.
That's
I want
awesome.
to see what his role is. And,
Have you ever met him?
No, I have not.
I haven't either.
Yeah. And then Thursday is cooperative days at Barron Electric, and that's when all the people come and we get to talk to a whole bunch of people. Cooperative days, you get your check if you've been a part of Barron Electric or Mosaic Technologies for a while. So that's always fun. Friday morning is economic development awards breakfast, and Representative Voss is going to be the speaker at that. He's going to be in Rice Lake. So all
A lot
kinds
of
of
Republicans in Barron County right now.
Yeah. So
Maybe they can go talk to the Republican Party and guys, what's up?
How did that go with Romaine? I see Romaine just sent me an invite, but I'm not here next week. But they're having a Republican potluck. But he has one thing wrong. It says, "Did you know that every county and state position in Barron County is red? The sheriff is technically blue, although I'm everybody's sheriff."
That's the first time I've ever heard you actually say out loud. Yeah, I'm a Democrat.
No, well, I'm everyone's sheriff.
Everybody, I know.
I know. But that's a great thing that he's doing. October 9th, I'll be out because I'm not on the show next week. So
That's right.
I'm out next week. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you know who Governor Tommy Thompson is friends with and supports a lot? My guy, Will Martin.
Oh.
Yeah, they're buddies. Yeah, every time I see oftentimes Will Martin on his Twitter or X page now, see photos of he and Governor Tommy Thompson. I don't know much about him. I think our Spooner Fish hatchery is named after him. That's pretty much all I know about him. I know Dad knew him when he was a sheriff and when he was still a governor. What's that?
Maybe he's coming to visit his name.
Maybe he is. That'd be awesome. We should get a picture of him next to it. That'd be great.
I'm sure he has one.
Probably. All right. Dirk says last warm summer-like day. So warm today. Oh, a little gusty wind, chance of showers tonight through the rest of the week. Colder, 45 to 50 by the weekend. Lows
Frost.
in the 30s Friday night. Frost over the weekend. Good news, no snow. I like snow. Colder, the better.
I don't need snow. We'll be fine.
Yeah, for law enforcement, snow's not so fun. For like 1,000 reasons.
Right.
Hey, I have a question real quick. Why do you guys keep your car on all the time?
All
Why
of
do
our
cops
equipment
keep
is
their
new.
car on all the time?
Well, it's not all the time.
All the time. Like they'll just park it and then go away for like 2 hours.
No,
Or an hour.
not.
Like it's just always on.
Okay.
In the summer or in the winter, it's always on.
Well, all of our equipment, that includes our cameras, our computer, all that shuts down and charges, and we don't have to start it back up. We jump in our cars, we got to go on a call. And if I have to jump in my car all the time and log into my computer, turn my body camera on, turn my squad camera on, so all that can stay running if we leave our cars running. And all of that technology, if we shut it off, shuts off, and then we have to restart it all. So we try not to do that a lot, but we also try not to leave our cars sit for more than 2 hours.
All right. Waste of taxpayer money, I tell you. That's the campaign. That's the slogan for the person that's ever going to run. No one's ever going to run against you, are they? Seriously. Just say it.
I hope not.
Yeah. Well, you got a few years left. So, again, go to Sam Lawton announced his campaign for judge in Barron County. Go to lawtonforjudge.com, I believe. There's the link and more information on our website. His announcement was on this morning. Fitzy and I, well, you're off next week. I think I may have something going on, so maybe perfect. So we probably won't be here next week.
Okay.
Either of us. So we'll see you in a couple of
2
weeks.
weeks.
Awesome. Thanks, Fitzy. For Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald, I'm Ben Dryden, and you've been watching Positive Tuesday with Ben and Fitzy, presented by Professional Exteriors and Interiors. With 20 years of work both on the inside and on the outside of home of your business, they have... I screwed up my own thing. They've operated business for quality work. Yeah, just give Brian a call right there. 715-520-2271. You call and you just talk to him and see what he can do, because they do everything. I finally saw pictures of you. I guess I was tagged in this. Brian tagged me in this, and I didn't even notice it until yesterday of you on the roof.
Right.
When he was there. I never saw those photos until yesterday.
No leaks in my roof, so that's great.
Aw, that's awesome. All right, so Fitzy and I will be off next week. I will see all of you Thursday morning at 8:30 a.m. when I'll be chatting with mental health professional Darren Cox, where I'm assuming we're talking about mental health. And that's just guessing. And following the conclusion of that show at around 9:30, I'll be joined by Alan. By Lieutenant Colonel Alan West. So until then, thank you for watching, and as always, have a blessed day.